All right, come here. Come here. Let's talk because this is something that's been irritating me for a while, and I feel like we need to talk about it. Why do comic book crossovers not release in order? And what I mean by that is the fact that it just seems like anytime there's a massive crossover event, these stories will have release dates for the issues, but then in the specific comics themselves, they'll be in different parts of the actual storyline. So let me show you what I mean. This week in my weekly reading, I read X-Men Forever issue number 1. Problem with that, though, is it finally explained what is going on in X-Men, where the X-Men who died at the attack from Orcus during the Hellfire Gala are just suddenly alive again and on a secret mission for Professor X. And I read that book in January, which means it most likely came out beginning of January, most likely ending of December. I'm not entirely sure what it is. And then X-Men Forever came out this month or late last month. So I don't understand why we would have a story that talks about the secret mission going on with Professor X and all these X-Men that are apparently alive, which meanwhile, you also have the fact that the X-Men who can do the resurrection process are nowhere near Professor X or anybody. Professor X didn't even know people are alive. At the time Dead X-Men came out, it makes absolutely no sense that this entire storyline is happening. But then you get to Forever X-Men, and now it tells you, oh, this is why they're going on this mission, this is why they're going on this journey. This is how they're alive again. What the heck? And that's not the only thing, because then you also have the fact that the Sabretooth War going on in the Wolverine comics, which has the Fall of X banner, but doesn't really have anything to do with Fall of X besides the fact that Sabretooth is still just pissed off about what happened during the Kraoka age, is apparently after everything that goes on in X-Force with Beast. Which, side note, also, this was not a good storyline. It was very anticlimactic. They just rushed to the ending on this one. But beside the fact that, again, Wolverine's storyline with Sabretooth is apparently after the stuff going on with Beast and X-Force, which neither one really have anything to do with what actually is going on with the Age of Kraoka falling. And let's keep it 100. Then you have Avengers 11. Suddenly, at the ending of the issue, Captain Marvel, who's currently leading the current team of Avengers, is asking Tony, hey, what are we going to do about Orcus? Because they're a problem, which then begs to differ. What the frick was going on with the Avengers not being part of the battle for Kraoka and not helping out the mutants? Apparently, this whole entire time, Tony has told the Avengers to hang out until basically the mutants are ready to attack back. Which then leads to Avengers 12 getting the Fall of X banner, because now suddenly it's part of the crossover. But there's other issues with this. You got the fact that Iron Man is out here in the Australian outback beating up all the freaking Iron Sentinels, but somehow is still able to fight with the Avengers at the same time while they're also facing Sentinels. Also, in the same issue, you have the fact that there's some ex-Avenger who's like some C-lister from the Skrull War, whatever, don't know, was reading during that time, don't come at me, but he apparently is working with MODOK. And there's a problem with that because MODOK dipped in the Fall of the House of X in issue number 2, which also came out January, February. We're in April. Why is MODOK still apparently a part of the fight? That doesn't even line up with the fact that everything that happened when MODOK initially dipped out was all part of the fact that everybody was now attacking Orcus, which didn't really... It's all over the place, y'all. It is all over the place. And I guess I really shouldn't be surprised because honestly, Gang War did the same thing. So did Titans Beast World. And honestly, I really shouldn't be surprised, like I said, because of the fact that for the most part, when it comes to the crossover events, I try to get every single issue that's going on in the crossover so I can get the complete story. And frankly, War of the Realms did it too. This came out in 2019. This is my first ever crossover event. And yes, I have every single issue. And same difference here. You had stuff going on in the main War of the Realms title that in the spin-off issues would have different parts in the story that would say, oh, this happened before, yada, yada, yada. This happened before, yada, yada, yada. And I don't understand why we release crossovers in that way. And my fellow comic book nerds, my brothers and my sisters, my theys, my thems, all of y'all, just please tell me what you think. Because maybe I'm missing something here, but do they also take the crossover events and then when they put them into the trade paperbacks, do they put them in order of the story at that point, or do they just put them in order of release date? Because then again, that's also irritating. At that point, if you're collecting it all in one volume, it should definitely be in the order of the actual story. And it's not hard to catch on. It really is not. It's fairly easy. It's just with the fall of X and the Age of Kuroka ending, it was actually very jostling to have Dead X-Men come out without explaining what was going on and just being like, yep, surprise, these mutants are alive and just deal with it. Like, and they're on a secret mission for Professor X, but then at the same time, Professor X is an immortal X-Men in exile on an island. Make it make sense, please. But maybe I make a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me how you all feeling about the overall Age of Kuroka ending. Like, I'm loving it. It's just that little part irritated me. Also, don't forget to do the social media things.